going to share with you how to make a shaker card using our beautiful Seeds of the Day stamp set and die set. So without further ado, let's come down to our workbench so that you can see. Sorry about my hand for 1 minute. Okay, I think that's pretty awesome. So these are the gorgeous dies. I really love these dies, and you might have already seen my other cards that I have done, and I use this one for a diorama card, but this one's going to be a little bit more simpler, and we're not going to use quite as many pieces on this particular card. So I'm just going to put my dies out of the way for the moment. We're also going to use the Gentle Waves, which I just love. This is going to be one of my go-to stamp sets. I can just see that I just love this stamp set. I've used it and I just, yeah, it just falls into place. And we're also using the octopus, and I'm going to use the jellyfish because I stamped one out in yellow, but I'm going to show you how you can change the colour if you don't want the colour that you chose. So we can change that around. And I'm only going to use a little bit of leafish on it. We'll use this stamp here. Okay, so what do we need? We need a card base, and I'm doing an A-frame type card this time. Okay, I like to use my thick cardstock for this, so I'm going to use 29 centimeters by 10.5, and I'm scored it at 14.5. Now, the reason I like using the thick cardstock, because the more layers you put on it, the better it stands up. And it's really great to use your bone folder also along the top to give that a great score. Okay, so that's a really good thing. Now we're going to need 2 pieces of basic black, and they're going to be 14 by 10, so we've got 2 of them. And then we're going to need 2 of these ones, which is 13.5 by 9.5. I've already cut one of these out, and I'm going to show you how to colour it. So we also need one of these, which is around 13.5 by around 9.5. You've got to be able to cut it within the frame. Okay, you also need some window sheet. The window sheet is going to be 12.5 by 9, and this is going to go onto the back of this, but we're going to colour this first. And I've got an octopus because I already had him stamped out. Now I have 1 piece of leaf left, and I had a yellow octopus, yellow jellyfish, which I really want it brighter. So I'm going to share with you how to do that now. So using the Stamparatas, you can change lots of different things using this. It's really handy. So I'm going to actually get the, you can use, I've still got a little bit of snail in this that I'm using up. Your Seal Plus, you can use your Seal Plus. Now the one thing I love about it is it will stick down onto your silicone mat. Okay, so you need your silicone mat in there, and I love using the silicone mat for this reason. Now we're going to grab that, not the octopus, sorry, the jellyfish. We're going to grab our jellyfish, and we're going to come down with our stamp pretty well over the top of that. Come down, and I'm going to this time come in with pale papaya, or papaya, and I'm going to come in and do that with this, and then I can come in and change the top as well if I want to. I'm going to come down and stamp on that, so you can sort of see now we've got that little bit of yellow behind it, and we've got that little bit more, the legs coming down. But what if we want to just come in with a little bit of different colouring on the top, like the soft succulent? We can even do that. So we can just stamp up that little bit on the top. And if you come down a little bit too far, you can always use a brush and get rid of that. But I'm going to come in with my, this is my Wink Stella one, and I'm going to just come up into that to give it a little bit of glitter on there as well. So I'm just going to bring that up into that area and then come down. Just to clean it, just wipe it backwards and forwards onto your grid paper or some paper towel. So you can sort of see now we've got a bit of a greeny head with glitter in him and our orange there, or our pale papaya. Now if you don't want this sticking out around here, you can always just trim this off a little bit if it's just a little bit too much. Okay, so I'm just going to trim that off a little bit. Now because I've got snail or Seal Plus on the back of him, I'm just going to leave him on the silicone mat for the moment, and I will clean that stamp in a minute. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to colour our background here. Now I'm going to come in with more, I think, I think I'll come in with some purpley colours this time, just something a little bit different. So I'm going to go with Gorgeous Grape, Fresh Freesia and Rich Raspberry. Now I haven't done this before, so let's hope that these colours go well together. Okay, so I'm going to start off with, might start off with our lighter colour first, our Fresh Freesia. Now this gives it like a, to me, like a mother of pearl effect. So we're going to come in, this has still got a little bit of dark colour happening on it as well, but that's okay. I don't know what that was used on last. So we're just going to come in and do a bit of colouring. Now I was going to do this on a piece of paper this time and forgot about it, but that's okay. So now we're going to use our Gorgeous Grape. So I'm just going to wipe this off a little bit. Just give it a bit of a dab. And I do feel we will need a blue on here as well, so I'm going to come in with the Barima Bay, I think, as well. So Rich Raspberry next. And I don't want to, I do want to come in with a bit of blue, so I'm going to leave a little bit of spots for that blue to come in. Okay. And I'll just change my brush. Oh, excuse me. And we'll come in with the Barima Bay this time. And just bring that up around here. I want to bring in a little bit of bluish into it as well. Every time I do this, it just is so beautiful. It doesn't matter what colours you use, they just turn out beautiful. You can use whichever colours you want, but you can sort of see how gorgeous that turns out, and I do like to put it on a piece of paper so you can sort of see what I'm showing you. It just looks, the colours look absolutely amazing. You can use orange and yellows, you can use purples, you can use greens, you can use reds and oranges and yep, any colour that you want, greens, blues. So it'll all turn out a little bit differently. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is, we'll move this out of the way just for the moment, is pop your window sheet on there. Okay, so we want to pop that window sheet on there. So we're going to grab a little bit of our glue here, and we're just going to come in around the out edge of this. Okay, so, and then we're going to stick our window sheet down on top of that, covering all our little holes. Okay, so that's pretty good. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to use our strips again. These are fantastic, these strips. I just love these for shaker cards. I love them for lots and lots, but we're coming in on the edge this time, right on the edge. We're going to trim that off and come right in on the edge on this one. Whoop. So we're coming over the top of the window sheet now. Okay, which is really, really good. So you're going to get 2 more. Now I like to use 2 strips, even though you can use 1, but I like to have that 2 strips. It just gives it a little bit more secure, and I'm just going to, before I do that, I can see that that's going to have to just use 1 up this one side. Okay, like I said, you can just use 1, and I'm going to have to use 1 just up this side because we're going to see it otherwise through our window, and we don't want to. Didn't want to stick down. Okay. That's better. And then you can come back in with 2 at the top if you want to, or you can just use your 1. You have got 2 on 2 sides, so it will hold it pretty well. Awesome anyhow. One thing you don't want to do is see that on this side, and you will see a little bit there, but it will be covered. Hopefully that will be covered. Okay, so the next thing you need to do is you're going to do our background card. So we've got the front part done, so now we're going to come in and using one of our 13.5 by 9.5s with our ocean, or with the gentle waves, I should say. This is just absolutely beautiful. I love this stamp set. Okay, so we're going to, once again, we're going to use whatever colour you want to use, but I'm going to use a little bit of crumb cake, just dragging my ink pad across. And I'm going to come in with the Pacific point. And I'm just going to drag that also across the bottom here. And up a little bit. And I'm going to place this down onto our card. Give it a rub. You can sort of see how you get that effect, and we're going to come in with a little bit of Night and Navy now, or we might come in with the Coastal Cabana this time because we've got that in our frame. So where did I put that Coastal Cabana stamp? Here. Oh no, the Barima Bay is what I use, so I'm going to come in with that one because I want to bring in a little bit of what we used around the edge. Okay, so you can sort of see we've come in with that as well. So we've got that colour. And I might just do a little bit more on there. Okay, I'll just put that down there to clean in a minute. Now we have got a beautiful leaf stamp set which I'm going to use. I've got to just work out which way I want it. I think I want it that way. I'm going to use this in here, and I'm going to use the colours Rich Razzleberry on this. Because we've got our Rich Razzleberry around the outside as well. That's wet. With our Rich Razzleberry here. Just press lightly, Teresa. And bring in some around this area as well. Okay, so you can sort of see we've done that. It's pretty wet by Rich Razzleberry. So I'm going to clean that. Don't forget your chamois is your best friend because you can clean your stamps as you go. My chamois is well used, but it still cleans your stamps really well. So, excellent. Okay, so we're going to come in with, oh, if I can close this. We're going to come in with this. We're going to come in with our octopus. And we're going to come in with that jellyfish this time. So we're going to come in with the jellyfish. So we'll put the jellyfish there because we've already got some glue on him. We'll bring in our octopus. He's going to come down a little bit further. He's very camouflaged into the water. We're going to bring in a little bit of the black behind that. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on here, not too much. And just going to lift him up a little bit. Okay, so he's sitting there and the jellyfish is sitting there. Now where's our top? So you can sort of see that we've got that happening now. Now do you want to add anything else in there? We want to add a word this time, and we want to add the word in the inside, and that's why I haven't got a lot of fishes. Thanks from the depths of my heart, or wishing you an ocean of happiness. Let's see which one fits in there better. Maybe this thank you one. We might pop him in there. Take out off to clean. Now it's your choice whether you use a Stamparatus when you're working or whether you use blocks. The Stamparatus is a fantastic machine. This is positioner, so you can position your stamps where you want them. And I love the idea of this. I was lucky enough to be part of the demonstrators that helped design this machine, which was fantastic. I really enjoyed how Stampin' Up actually went about doing it. So we're going to come in with the black. So you need to work out your bottom piece now, like you have to decorate all that before we put our shakers in, and that's why we haven't got too much happening in this piece here. We haven't got a lot of fishes or anything like that at the moment. So we're going to come down with that on here. And I really like that. That's really good. And if it's not dark enough, like if you've got a bit that's not dark enough, like the V, you can just come in and colour that bit a little bit more. And just darken it up a little bit more so it just pops out, because it won't move. That's the one good thing about it. And now you've got that nice deep wording happening there, which is fantastic. So it looks a little bit on the plain side at the moment, but that's okay because we can't, we're doing this one in purples and that, so we want that little bit of purple. You'll see that you won't get the whole of those leaves that we stamped out underneath. You won't get them all through. So if you want some seen, you might want to come out a little bit further. Okay, but we do want some shaker pieces in there now. And we have this beautiful set that's got like, 4 different lots of shakers in it, which is really great because you can actually mix this up. Now, what is going to be the easiest way to do this is entirely up to you. You can come down this way, or you can have this like this and put the shakers in there and then come down on top, which is what I will be doing. Okay, so we've got all these colours. So we've got a pinch of these ones because we have got that in our jellyfish, that colour. And we've got a little bit of green happening in through there as well. And we've got the pinks and the purples happening. And we're just going to add a little bit of gold and silver in amongst that as well, just to give it a bit of colour. I love these shakers. Okay, so we're going to peel the backs off all these. I've got shaker bits everywhere. Electricity is an amazing thing when you're doing craft, how the electricity picks up everything off your hands because your hands get hot. You get the electricity. Okay, so you want that. You've got to make sure that you've got everything you want on here. So if you want a little fish or something in there now, you will need to do that now. If you want to stamp a little fish in there, is what I mean. You want to stamp a little fish in there around the word. You'll need to do that now before you put your shaker piece in. Okay, so you might want to do him. I think we might go. I like to stick to the purples and everything that we're using. So I'm just going to try it on the side here, because sometimes they're just a little bit light in colour. So this is where our Stamparatus comes in really handy again for this, because you can come down more than once. Okay, so I'm just going to move that out of the way for a minute. Okay, so we need to put this piece in now. I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to clean that around because we went right around the edge. Okay, so we can bring a little fish in here, coming down here, take that word off. And we can ink him up. And you can come down. And you can sort of see he's a bit light, so you can come down again. We just have to be really mindful that we don't want to go too much around this edge part here. So we can do him again. So he's getting a little bit darker because he's not cut out. This is just coming in with the ink pad. Okay, these ones are cut out. So you could cut him out if you want to, which you can. There's lots of dies that you can do that with, and I forgot to wipe around that edge there. But we've got our little fish happening there, and he's quite good. But we've got an opposite fish as well in this set, or you can have a starfish, whichever you want. You can bring in a starfish if you wanted to. So we could come in with the starfish, and he can come in up here. And he can come in the, let's see what colour we've got here. We might bring the Coastal Cabana. It's very similar to the Baruma Bay, but it's just a little bit greener. So we've got our starfish here. He's hiding into the colour. And this way you can add more of what you want to your picture afterwards by stamping them on. Okay, so you can sort of add what you want into there. Okay, I think we've got enough on there because I don't want to make it too overly, but I just wanted to share with you how to add extra into it if you wanted to. Now we've got our little border here that's all had the edge off, so you've got to be pretty well look over the top of it, make sure that you've got it right where you want it, and then hopefully come down onto our back, and we've got our shaker. And they can just sit down into there. I could have probably put a little bit more shaker in. And if you've gone a little bit crooked at the bottom, which I might have just gone a little bit offset just down the bottom here, I can just trim that little bit. Trim that little bit off. Okay, now that's got to go into our card. So I'm just going to find my card that I had here. Okay, so we've got our shaker card here. And we're going to do our black mat, and then this is going to come in on that. So I do need to just trim this down just a fraction bit more, just to make it nice, so that when you, I'm just cutting it back to the strip. Okay, so we're going to stick this on now. And he's going to have a little border all the way around of black. And then he's going to come onto our front of our card. This is a great shaker card. You can do this shaker card with this this technique with any shape that you want on the inside of your image here. We've just used the C front, we've just used the C, but you can do it with an oval or a square or rectangle, a star, whatever you want you can do it with. Now on the inside we want to put our black, because it's always nice to finish the inside off as well with a matte, because one, it strengthens the back of the card for you as well, which is really, really good. And two, it gives you a nice place to write on. And you can always decorate up the inside of your card as well if you wanted to. I'm not going to today. I want to keep it a little bit simpler for you. And check out my diorama if you're a little bit more advanced. That's a really lot of work into that one. This one's a little bit more simpler today, but it's got the beautiful little shakers that come down into it. It's gorgeous little shaker card. And if you wanted to, you can always add characters onto the front as well if you wanted to, like your crabs and things like that. You can add them onto the front as well. But I'm not going to do that today, but I'm just suggesting you can add more onto your card today if you wanted to. So it just sits up, and you can see how nice it sits up when it's got all that firmness in there. So I love that idea. Well, thank you for joining me today, and I really hope you like making our shaker card. I'm just gonna, we've got our shakers in there. I've just got to get them up the top, and then just let them fall down so you can sort of see them. The shakers are really great. I could have put a bit more shakers into this one. And you can sort of see that when we stamped out the starfish and the fish, you can see them, which is really good, but you can just see part of the starfish, which is really nice. And you can decorate it up however you want. That's the good thing about shaker cards. You can do them however you want. And the window sheet you can get through our Stampin' Up site. You get two 12 by 12 sheets. Amazing to be doing with the card making. It's really good quality. It's like an acetate, but it's a really good quality. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that today. God bless you all. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next class. Bye for now.